note, in this video, I am wearing safety equipment, but I had a customer call me last night and her husband was cutting down a tree that fell down in the storm and sliced his finger open. I've heard people getting their knees sliced open, legs cut up. Please be careful, just like anything guys, mowers can be dangerous. Use your common sense, and if not, watch some videos on YouTube, read some forums of how the proper ways. Luckily I had Randy and Andy here to teach me the proper ways to cut down trees and do this work, because man, that chain kicks back and it's not going to be good news. So please be careful, wear your safety equipment and be smart. Take it easy. Hey Randy.
What is happening? Blake, what are you doing here?
Hey, we're trying to start a video.
I'm sorry. Hell with this loud chainsaw, I couldn't hear anything.
All right, we literally have a brand new Dewalt chainsaw, 40 volt, versus the new Makita
36 volt.
36 volt.
Takes two 18s.
Two 18 volt batteries.
Both brushless motors, by the way.
Brushless motors. Do you know what the bar size on both of them are?
16 on this one.
16 on the wall.
I think it's smaller than 16. Yeah, it's 14.
And a 14 on the Makita.
But I'll tell you something I already like a lot about the Makita.
What do you like about it?
I haven't even used it, but it actually has metal kickback teeth compared to the regular.
Yep.
Right there.
And the Milwaukee.
And this has just got the plastic bump. I mean, it still works. Like if I want to just dig into something and bite down, it will. Yeah. But for kickback, I don't care for it that much.
And here, bring up the Makita and flip it on its belly. All right, if you guys look here, shout out to Tool Pig for showing me this. But this is a metal plate in case that chain ever comes off of your chainsaw, where all the other battery-powered chainsaws are plastic. So that's interesting to know. You always want to see metal in this world of plastic, man. Whenever you can find metal on a piece of equipment, you want it. What's going on, guys? We're getting our safety gear on here. Today, we are cutting down this tree with the brand new Makita 36 volt, 18 volt, two batteries. Let's get it. All right, let's let her fall. And there she is. It looks like it works pretty well, doesn't it? Whenever I really pull this trigger, this thing has some power. Like, hold on, you got the little safety switch. Like, I know you can't hear it and it probably doesn't do anything on camera, but like when I was cutting these, I wasn't pulling the trigger all the way, and just watch, just watch. All right, guys, we've switched to a flashlight in my face, kind of like one of those shows. Like, I feel like we're on a show with like terrible production value.
What I feel like we're shooting
no budget. We have no budget.
I feel like we're shooting the Blair Witch Project right now.
We are. We have no budget. We have a flashlight and a camera. We had our little drone malfunction, and I've been playing with this Makita chainsaw, but I just remembered about the Dewalt chainsaw. So this is their 40 volt, and just because it's fresh with that new Makita, and I really don't use chainsaws that often, so it's kind of fun. They're teaching me the ropes here. I've got my safety equipment on, and I got a little bit skinnier now that we're getting further up the tree. We pulled it back to use this Dewalt, so let's get it. solid cut too. It's a solid cut. They're really different. I feel like this one's heavier. I feel like it did a slower cut, but it felt more stable, if that makes any sense. Like it just was a constant flow up the tree, where that one I felt like went quicker, but it wasn't as sturdy going up, if that makes any sense. I want to try the Dewalt one now with down pressure, because as we saw, me and Andy went down to Texas at the Makita place, and what we were noticing was the heavier chainsaws were cutting faster. So let's test it out. When picking out a chainsaw, so for me, for Andy, for Randy here behind the camera, when we're looking at equipment like this, where chainsaws, you're not using it every day, you're not an arborist, you're not climbing trees, you're not Keith Kalfas, you're not the arborist kid on Instagram cutting down a bunch of trees. You may use this a few times a month. You may have it sitting there for 6 months out of the year like me. But the cool thing about Makita, their batteries, this 18-volt battery right here will work with impacts, will work with all their lights, fans, drills, and all the other equipment. I mean, what do they have, like 200, Andy?
There's a lot, man.
I mean, it was like an extreme
platform.
number, and they're really, they pride themselves on, and this isn't a commercial or anything, they pride themselves on, like, this is what they were showing us, is like they have this battery, they have one charger, and you can just go from drill to chainsaw to trimmer to blower, and that's really cool. I think a lot of people, you know, because I have all these different brands, but even then, in some companies, I have a charger for this. If I put the battery on it, it's not going to charge. If I put the battery on this one, it's not going to charge. I have 3 battery chargers that I have to find, and finally it goes with a charge. So I think that's pretty cool, the universe and versatility of the batteries. So I definitely want to make sure I get that point to you guys when you're looking at something. If you have Makita drills, or I mean Makita radios, fans, lights, whatever, that is also going to work with your outdoor power equipment. I think that's a very, very cool feature that I'm sure took a lot of work to get all these different things to work with this battery. So just want to show you guys that. All right, I'm going back. I'm changing my opinion a little bit. I actually don't believe that the Dewalt's faster. I think I'm actually going faster with the Makita, but it still feels, the only thing I see different about the Dewalt is I feel more stable. Like I feel like it's just, I can't go any faster, I can't go any slower. It's a constant down pressure, where this one I can go slow, but I can also go a lot faster. I don't know what that would be.
Well, let me ask you a question real quick, because this is a question you might get.
Okay.
On either of those cuts you just did, were you putting force yourself down on the equipment? Were you pushing down on the Makita? Were you pushing down on the Dewalt?
I was just, I mean, a little bit,
but you were doing the same with both.
I was doing the same with both. I don't know what it is. I think we'll have to look up and see if the company's saying anything about that. But I think it's probably just the way they're built. And I don't know if that chain's a little bit wider. Is that chain wider?
I don't know if the gap's different or not on those. I just know you got a 16-inch bar and a 14-inch bar. It might have a little bit wider of a gap on the Dewalt, just from looks, but looking at it right now, it looks like it might have a little wider gap to it.
Because that's just what it feels. It feels more constant. Makita feels, but I don't have an opinion of what I like better. I think with this size of tree, and I know there's probably tree guys out there that know a lot more about this stuff than me, but from using it, you know, I think it's lighter. I think it all come down to battery life. I really do. I think they probably have the same power. The Makita felt like it had a little bit more oomph, a little bit more power.
Chain's probably moving a little bit faster, you think?
It's moving a little bit faster, but I don't know whether the 40-volt one battery or two 18-volt batteries, which one is gonna, which one's gonna last longer? I don't know, but I think we'll have to try it out a little bit more. But I think this was a good first look, little review here of cutting down a tree. This is my first full tree I've ever cut down. Whenever we do cleanups and stuff, we always have little trees. We have lots of little sticks. I don't know if the spotlight man can show you guys some of these little trees, but I've been where places where I use a chainsaw and things like this, and we just clean up a lot of landscaping, but never a big tree like this. And some guys, this may be a small tree, I don't know, but it was honestly really fun. If I wasn't hearing my drone battery saying landing, and watching it fall from the sky into this forest, I think I would have had a lot more fun. But
and see, these tools for us in the lawn and landscape industry are good, because the majority of the stuff we have to do is clean up, like what you said, or trees or branches that have already fallen.
Yeah, I'm not an arborist. I'm not any of that. But there has been a lot of times where I bid something. In the back of my mind, I say, I have a chainsaw, I can just do that. So when picking out a chainsaw, for me, the battery powered stuff works better than my gas powered stuff, because it's kind of like the hedge trimmer, where my mower gets used every day, 8, 9, 10 hours a day, period. It's always getting maintained and always getting used. Nothing ever sits in the engine or anything like that, where the chainsaw could go 6 months in parts of the year. You know, I'm not using it in October through the winter time. We use it in the spring and summer, but it's sitting and everything just gets gunked up nasty, and then it doesn't start, you know? So that's where the battery stuff, it's like, man, all you got to do is have your 2 batteries and some chain oil, and that's all you need in this. There's not really anything that sits in there and is gonna gunk it up. So when it comes down to these, we're gonna focus on battery life, and I'm gonna give you guys an update after I use these for a little bit longer. I think I probably need a month or 2 to really find out what the runtime is in our industry, you know. Whenever a lab is testing these things, you know, you never know. And I'm sorry if I'm looking away from the camera, I can't really see it with the light, but the labs, they could say 20-minute runtime, 22, and they might fight. The companies might fight back and forth who has a runtime, but we want to find out in actual daily use. I think I got a tick too. We want to find out in real life, what are these gonna think? What are they gonna do? Are they gonna make you money, or are they gonna break down? And I've had my hedge trimmers and chainsaws. You get the case out again, ready to use it, and you have fluid everywhere. It doesn't start, and it's just a mess. So that's it, guys. That is my little first look cutting down a tree, and my thoughts on the Makita 18-volt chainsaw. Thanks for watching, guys. See you later. Let me scoot it back one more time, and we're gonna try the Makita.
Can we keep
that is going on the video.
Use them young boy strengths, man. You ain't birthed no children lately. There you go. God, your mom's gonna be proud.
She is. She sure will be. Where is that bad boy?
Over here next to the